Look, the Blue Jays are in a weird spot right now. We're past those initial spring training workouts where everyone's just shaking off the rust, and now we're getting into the real decisions. The front office has already dealt with some injury curveballs, made a move to add depth, and now as the full squad gets together, we can actually start piecing together what this roster is going to look like on opening day. Here's the thing, though. This roster could change tomorrow. One pulled hamstring, one surprising waiver claim, and everything I'm about to tell you gets thrown out the window. But based on where things stand right now, we've got a pretty good idea of how Toronto's breaking camp. Wes, let's talk catching first because honestly, there's not much drama here. The Jays had the second-best catching production in baseball last year, according to Fangraphs WAR, putting up 6.8 wins above replacement. Only Seattle, with Cal Raleigh's monster season, beat them out. So yeah, they're running it back with the same tandem. Makes sense. If someone goes down, keep an eye on Valenzuela. He's 25, switch hitter, cannon for an arm, more defense than offense. But that's exactly what you want in a backup catcher anyway. The infield is where it gets interesting. They've only got 4 pure infielders on the depth chart right now, but Davis Schneider can play second and Addison Barger can handle third, so there's flexibility built in. The starting 4 should be pretty locked in barring injuries, which is always a massive if in baseball. But here's the real question mark. How much can Okamoto handle at third base? Some scouts looked at him and saw a first baseman. The Jays see something different. They think he's actually a sneaky good defender at the hot corner. If he can adjust to big league pitching without taking too long, Toronto's ready to give him 140 games there, maybe more. That's a huge vote of confidence in a guy who's never played a single inning in Major League Baseball. Now, the toughest call they're facing in the infield revolves around Leo Jiménez. This is where roster construction gets messy. He's 24, playing for Panama in the World Baseball Classic. And here's the kicker. He's out of minor league options. That means Toronto either puts him on the opening day roster or they have to expose him to waivers where any other team can claim him for basically nothing. Those are the rules, and they make these decisions brutal. Jimenez hasn't exactly lit the world on fire in his brief big league stints. The bat hasn't shown up yet, but watch what the Jays are doing. Even in these early camp days, he's working with Carlos Febles, taking grounders at third, short, and second. They're clearly giving him a legitimate shot. To keep him, though, they might have to trade or option an established outfielder, which brings us to the next problem. The outfield is crowded, really crowded. Even with Anthony Santander recovering from shoulder surgery, they've got 7 guys for 3 spots. George Springer's more of a DH at this point. Barger and Schneider will slide around to infield spots too. But still, 7 outfielders is a lot for any team to carry, especially when you're trying to balance the whole 26-man roster. After trading for Jesus Sanchez, it actually looks too busy out there. Nathan Lukes and Davis Schneider both deserve roles after what they did last season and in the playoffs, but one of them might start in AAA Buffalo if the Jays want that traditional backup infielder. It wouldn't be fair to either guy, honestly. They earned their spots, but this is the kind of move depth-conscious teams make when they're trying to avoid losing assets. You can't keep everybody, and someone's going to get squeezed. The rotation looks pretty set with their top 5 guys, but Shane Bieber's starting the season on the injured list, so the depth gets thin fast. After the main starters, Eric Lauer is the obvious next man up. He's stretching out as a starter in camp, but if everyone stays healthy, and that's a big if, he'll probably begin the year as long relief out of the bullpen. Yariel Rodriguez, who started 22 games for Toronto over the last 2 years, isn't even stretching out this spring. After getting designated for assignment and clearing waivers in the offseason, he came back to camp as a 2-inning reliever, just trying to earn his way back onto the 40-man roster. Spring training is when they figure out who's next after Lauer. Maybe they make a move to build more depth. Maybe Max Scherzer signs in May if more injuries pile up. Gage Stanifer is the type of prospect who could jump into the conversation quickly with a strong spring and a few good starts in the minors, even though he's expected to begin at Double-A. And then there's the bullpen. Let me be clear about something. Whatever relief group breaks camp in March will look completely different by September. That's just how bullpens work in this sport. It's a constant churn of arms going up and down, guys getting hot, Guys getting hurt, guys getting traded. The Jays know this, so they're trying to preserve all that depth they've accumulated. They've got at least 12 relievers who've thrown significant big league innings. Obviously, some of those guys are starting in the minors. Tommy Nance is out of options, so they're giving him every chance to make the team. Spencer Miles and Angel Bastardo were Rule 5 draft picks, which means they either make the opening day roster or get returned to their original organizations. Those are the rules of that draft. There's been real buzz around Miles in the early camp sessions. The guy throws 98 and looked good in the Arizona Fall League, but he's never been healthy for a full professional season. That's concerning. If Miles makes the opening day roster, it's coming at someone else's expense. Probably an optionable reliever like Mason Fluharty or Braden Fisher, or it means Yimi Garcia isn't ready yet. Garcia had elbow surgery back in August, and he's still finishing rehab, hasn't even thrown a bullpen session at camp yet. The Jays are hoping he's ready for opening day, but there's no reason to rush him when they've got this many other arms available. Better to be cautious with a proven veteran than to push him back out there before he's ready and risk making everything worse. So that's where the roster stands right now. 4 weeks from now, some of these projections will look brilliant and others will look ridiculous. That's spring training. That's baseball. The only certainty is that there will be surprises, and the team that takes the field on opening day won't be the same one fighting for a playoff spot in September.